Here is analysis of the AQA Love and Relationships anthology poem Before You Were Mine by Carol Ann Duffy. So the poem is another poignant reflection on the relationship between a child and their parent. Except in this one, we're in the realm of imagination. You know, we're in the realm of thought, where the speaker is looking possibly at a photo or thinking over the experiences that a mother has had without necessarily knowing exactly what they are. And it's only later in the poem that we discover that the mother has passed away. And so it becomes almost like an ode to their memory, who they were, the kind of things they did, the kind of person that they were. So let's look through the poem firstly. Before You Were Mine. I'm 10 years from the corner you laugh on, with your pals Maggie McGeaney and Jean Duff. The three of you bend from the waist, holding each other on your knees, and shriek at the pavement. Your polka dot dress blows round your legs, Marilyn. I'm not here yet. The thought of me doesn't occur. In the ballroom with the thousand eyes, the busy movie tomorrows the right walk home could bring. I knew you would dance like that. Before You Were Mine, your ma stands at the close with a hiding for the late one. You reckon it's worth it. A decade ahead of my loud, possessive yell was the best one, eh? I remember my hands in those high-heeled red shoes, relics, and now your ghost clatters towards me, over George Square. Till I see you, clear as scent, under the tree with its lights and whose small bites on your neck, sweetheart. Cha-cha-cha. You'd teach me the steps on the way home from Mass, stamping stars from the wrong pavement. Even then I wanted the bold girl winking in Portobello, somewhere in Scotland, before I was born. The glamorous love lasts where you sparkle and waltz and laugh before you were mine. So let's begin then with the title, shall we? Before You Were Mine. So we're in the past, and as I mentioned, this is an imagined past. You were directly addressing the mother. And here, before you were mine, once again, this sense of possession, this sense of ownership. You know, we feel in some ways very protective over our parents. They are ours, our parents, my parents. But of course, the strange thing about that dynamic is that before you were born, they had this whole entire life. And the speaker here is acknowledging this kind of complex relationship. First line then, let's have a little look. I'm 10 years away from the corner you laugh on. So here we're within the poem, placed in that decade of distance between when this imagined scene is occurring and when the speaker will be born. I'm 10 years away from the corner you laugh on. Well, on the corner, in the street, outside, youthful behavior. Okay. And in this youthful moment, the mother is laughing. She's happy, joyous. Something that extends throughout the poem is this sense of being carefree. With your pals, we've got this kind of colloquial language, pals, to reflect the sort of, again, everything in this bit here comes back to this idea of youth, and a couple of names, Maggie McGeaney and Jean Duff. The three of you bend from the waist, holding each other on your knees, and shriek at the pavement. Once again, they're young. The implication is they're beautiful. There's a sense of being flirtatious here. That flirtatious attractiveness is then compounded. Your polka dot dress blows around your legs. Marilyn, of course, here a symbolic um, reference to Marilyn Monroe, the famous American um, singer, actress, who obviously typifies and exemplifies beauty of that in that 1950s and 60s period. She was a famous sex symbol, somebody that people saw as incredibly attractive. And I guess we're meant to think that the speaker's mother, is similarly good looking. This line is cool. I like this. I'm not here yet. The yet is obviously as in she will be one day. But because she's not here, the mother is carefree. She has no children. She's just thinking about herself. In fact, the thought of me doesn't occur. The speaker is non-existent. And it's funny because even though she's non-existent, there's a hint here, I think, of jealousy. There's a hint here, I think, of jealousy. Now, in the ballroom with the 1,000 eyes, this idea of being looked at, stared at, because once again, that beauty of the mother. The fizzy movie tomorrow is the right walk home could bring. I knew you would dance like that. We have repetition here, which I will just pop into blue, the repetition of Before You Were Mine, linked to the title, and reinforcing that sense of lapsed possession. Your ma stands at the close with a hiding. It's a word that means beating. And we see here the kind of rebelliousness of the mother. But because she's young, it's worth it. Okay, she accepts it. It's worth it. The decade ahead of my loud possessive yell. This is obviously meant to invoke the ideas of kind of baby crying. Was the best one. Again, that sense of jealousy. She's jealous that the best years that her mother had were before she was born. I remember my hands in those high-heeled red shoes, relics, and now your ghost. So here's I guess it's a sort of dramatic reveal that the mother is a ghost now. There's a sense of kind of spiritual appearance here. Clatters towards me over George Square till I see you clear as scent. Now, that's quite an interesting simile here, to be clear as scent. You see, scent is obviously something unseen. We can't see smells. And yet, smell, or as we know it to be sort of olfactory imagery, is incredibly powerful. It's the kind of scent, sometimes you catch the smell of something and it's just, boom, you're right back there because it has that sort of overpowering effect on an individual. Under the tree with its lights and whose small bites on your neck, sweetheart. So obviously she's been, with a lover, and there's a sort of playful, kind of cheeky feel here. Cha-cha-cha. You teach me steps on the way home from mass. So this idea, you teach me, obviously again, the mother guides, stamping away on the wrong pavement. So we see this emerging kind of rebelliousness in the speaker, possibly that she's learnt it from her mother. I wanted the bold girl winking in Portobello somewhere in Scotland before I was born. That glamorous love lasts where you sparkle. where you sparkle. Is this meant to be a reference, I guess, to heaven? And waltz and laugh before you are mine. So she's almost like the mother is sort of like trapped or frozen in time in these moments where she was sort of happy. And actually, that brings a lot of happiness to the speaker too. This is another poem that lacks rhyme. And I think for me, the lack of rhyme, again, is a kind of rebellious act on behalf of the poet to reflect the rebelliousness of the speaker. And in terms of structure, I would say the most important thing really that you'd want to talk about is this sort of, firstly, the way that the death of the mother is revealed midway through. But also this use of enjambment to once again act as a sort of a rebellion against being confined to lines. Thank you for listening.